What's the hot button this week?
Well, in the name of Tanzania, Uganda, and the Holy Republic of Kenya, once again, we are witnessing the Holy Trinity corridor of state oppression, and the triplets have decided that they are going to be known for the entire historical context for authoritarian rhetoric across the region. But before I set pace, let's listen to our very own senator in our own triplet republic, Mr. Cherargei.
I want to ask President Museveni and President Samia Suluhu Hassan, if you get any busybodies activists who want to destabilize the sovereignty and the peace and tranquility of your country, fiinya hawa, warudishe nyumbani, tuwamalizie.
Let's take a moment to analyze the fiinya hao na warudishe huku tufanye nini? Tuwamalizie. And the securitization of activism has been happening across this region. We have seen what the devastation in Tanzania has caused. We have seen what Kenya has just healed from last year, continuing to the fact that there's a massive uproar in securitizing activism across the East African nation, East African region. The regional integration, civic society and solidarity spaces, the shrinking space of civic experience within the region. The promise of the East African community is looking blasphemous. Other than the fact that we've seen multiple abductions, we've just seen the release of Nicholas and Bob Njagi. We've had Agatha and Boniface being abducted earlier on in the year. We're seeing these siblings coming together to say, look, apart from activism causing chaos, as blatantly put by Mr. Cherargei, wherever they are in your country, fiinya them, then bring them home, and we will finish what you have started. And I don't know what DCI is doing in this case, because they are roaming free, speaking of violence against the very same things that the Constitution fully and fundamentally protects, which is that we are free to speak, free to move, free to associate. And as we continue in the service of what solidarity looks like for Kenyans, South Africa is having an uprising against gender-based violence. So does it mean when us Kenyan women and activists across the space go on to support South Africans that we should be fiinya'd in Cape Town and then brought back home to be malizwa'd for? That is my hot button for the day.
It is very hot, and it crosses country. I don't know. I mean, you have a lot of faith that the authorities can take action against the good senator. Well, I wish you well, but there's a fat chance of that happening.
Completely. I mean, everything that you've said is all true, and it just gets to a point where you ask yourself, what exactly do these old politicians think is going on around them? Exactly. And at what point will they all realize that things have changed? Or maybe the question is, have they? Maybe they haven't actually. Maybe with us, you know, some people sitting in some small cocoon and you see things moving and you think, oh my God, the whole East Africa is changing. Maybe it isn't.
Yeah, it is. Okay, we're not the only ones with hot buttons. Hot buttons. Start with Namisa. What has been disturbing you this week?
Okay, where do I...
That's better.
Do I start off?
So start from the very beginning. What's your name?
I'm Nyamisa Chelagat. I am in the civic tech space. And as I was saying, I started by saying I'm in black because East Africa is mourning. We've lost very many young people to political violence, of course, instigated by the triplets, as Zaha said. And it's such a shame that we have gone back to the tribal political rhetoric, and it is a shame that our leaders are using that to justify their attacks on young people who, most of them, had nothing to do with what was happening in Tanzania. Yeah. We've had Kenyans who got arrested in Tanzania while going about their business. They were not activists, and there is nothing wrong with being an activist. Yeah, I think I'll leave it at that for now.
It's very true.
All right. Here, please.
Thank you so much. My name is Chege Majuis. Myself, I'm not amazed or astonished by the words of Cherargei because we are about to see more. We are going to the campaigns. What amazes me is the background and where he's saying those words. those words should be said somewhere in Embobut Forest, where you are hiding of shame saying such words. But if you look at the background, it is in church. We have a logo of Kenya Assemblies of God Church. Because you can see it, it's in the video. Yep. At that podium, you can see even a Bible. And you can see maybe they were reading some word of God. And in my imagination, he was telling those words to believers. People who believe in Jesus Christ, because that is a church, who believe in good governance, who believe in people who have been abducted for saying their rights, and all the rights that the Word of God believes in. So, where has been the church? That church, Kenya Assemblies of God, all this time that those incitement has been going around, the church could have stood and said, such nonsense should not be said in churches going forward. It is not left for the mainstream churches alone, the Catholic, AIC and PCA, to be doing the work of making sure that these politicians, they don't have such speeches in their churches. Because if it was the mainstream church, it could have been condemned by the bishops and the council of that church. But even other evangelist churches, they should waige hiyo mfano to make sure such politicians, you don't come to that church, you are being put as a mamoshaino for donating, then from that, you have the license to say whatever you want to say. Cherargei is not new in issuing such divisionary and inciting words to Kenyans. He has been saying it since 2021. And we have not heard what he's saying towards 2027. He has been saying there is some people who should not be left wandering here in Rift Valley. And he's referring to certain tribes. But nothing can be taken, no action can be taken against him because he's in the right side. And the right side is the ruling side. Was he in opposition? I'm sure right now the National Commission of Human Rights and something that looks at how people talk, they could have issued a warning against him or even called him.
The good thing is we have someone from the National Cohesion to discuss this. Yes. So I'll ask you to hang on it so that we set it up correctly, right?
Okay.